me a small brandy and soda, please, Sebastian. I'm not feeling well this morning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jacob.
Oh, the dreadful thing is it does have the look of poor Mrs. Etheridge.
Mother!
Oh, I don't know what I shall do when I run into her on foot.
Thank you.
Tell us what's the matter, Jacob. I think we're over the worst
I
now.
haven't been able to close my eyes all night. My whole world is crashing around me, and I come in and find you all in hysterics.
We couldn't help it, really, we couldn't.
Cheer up, Mr. Freeland. I have good news for you. Mr. Llewellyn is now on his way back to Jamaica.
What?
Yes. I tried to call you first thing this morning, but your line was busy.
What happened last night? The paper. What happened?
He tore it up.
Tore it up? What do you mean?
It took us quite a while to get it into the Nude, but we succeeded ultimately.
We?
Yes. Before going into reason with Mr. Llewellyn, I took the precaution of phoning a few friends. I thought it would be wise to be prepared for any eventualities.
You didn't do anything to him, did you, Sebastian?
Oh, no. Actually, the boot was on the other foot.
What are you talking about?
It is he who did something to us.
What do you mean? What could he do to you?
He saved us, monsieur.
Saved you?
Well, that is what we led him to believe that he had.
What the hell are you talking about?
Before I went into the library, I was prepared, with gentle persuasion on there, to extract the document by force.
Oh, Sebastian, how horrid of you.
Fortunately, such drastic action proved to be unnecessary.
Well, go on. What happened?
As you remember, when Mr. Llewellyn was in the library, he was singing before you left.
Singing. He was bellowing his lungs out.
It is a well-known psychological fact that continued singing in a highly religious, emotional type of person can lead to a trance of exaltation.
Doesn't it me?
Excuse me, sir, but I would hardly describe you as a highly religious, emotional type.
Don't interrupt, Colin. Go on.
When I went into the library, Mr. Llewellyn was not only singing, he was undressing.
Undressing? Whatever for?
A Freudian impulse again.
Sort of revivalist striptease?
Oh, Colin, very careful. Oh, I hope you stalked him.
Oh, no. To attempt to frustrate someone in such a spiritual state of abandon could have led to the most appalling results. All I could do under the circumstances was fold his clothes neatly as he discarded them and let him rip.
Did he take everything off?
Everything but his glasses.
Oh, well, how very surprising. He seems such a meek, well-mannered man. One can never tell the people nowadays. Do you remember that clergyman in Bletchley?
Oh, please.
Go on, Sebastian. What happened then?
Well, after that, everything was easy. When my friends arrived, he stopped singing, and he asked us to join him in prayer.
That must have shaken him a bit.
No, being men of the underworld, they took it all in a glance, and the service went off quite well.
Service?
Well, not by professional standards, and there was some concern over the hymn singing, but considering the language differences, we acquitted ourselves very favorably. In fact, my friend Joseph Ripper made quite a profound impression with his rendering, "Oh, on the wings of a dove."
Oh, how extraordinary. That used to be Colin's favorite song in the school choir.
Mother, really?
After that, Mr. Llewellyn appealed to us to see the light, unto which we all unanimously agreed. And with a little reasoning on my side, he decided to rip up the letter as an act of faith.
Well, I'll be damned.
I took the liberty, Mr. Freeman, of offering to pay for a stained glass window for his church. I told him that you would cable the money directly to him in Jamaica.
How much?
His first estimate was £36, 17 shillings and 6 pence. I thought it wise to make it £50
Sebastian. You did very well. I am most grateful.
I can see why my father was so fond of you, Sebastian. You are certainly resourceful.
Thank you.
What do we do now?
What do you mean?
The 3 great periods of my father's paintings are accounted for and disposed of. What about the 4th?
The fourth, Miss Jane?
Yep, that is exactly what has been keeping me awake all night.
That monstrosity, who painted that?
Your directness of approach does you credit, Miss Jane.
Did you paint it yourself?
I thought that would be on your mind.
Stop beating around the bush, Sebastian. Did you or didn't you?
No, monsieur, I did not.
Did not. Well, if you didn't, who in heaven's name did?
That is true.
Lauderdale, why are you not at school?
How could Sister Clover think you've broken your promise?
Calm yourself, Lauderdale. Excuse this abrupt intrusion, madame. This is my son.
Your son?
Bonjour. Gentlemen, Lauderdale.
I won't.
What a dear little boy. Why is it called Lauderdale?
His mother had ideas about her station. She was a Lithuanian refugee who eventually settled in Chester.
I'll never forget you. Never, never, never.
Why are you screaming, little boy?
Because my father's a bastard.
Oh,
That is about the only thing we have in common.
oh my, I hardly, oh.
Whew. Go to your room right now. I will explain everything later.
You promised on your word of honor not to the England until it's finished.
Oh, I'm beginning to understand.
My God, do you mean it was you that painted that picture?
Of course it was.
Oh,
It's my masterpiece. I had to put ladder on ladder. Oh, Father, how could you? How could you?
My son has painted since he is 7 years of age. On 3 different occasions, his art was exposed at l'exposition d'art. One was reproduced in l'illustration.
Bien, Gusha. Tu me trahis. Tu me trahis.
Toi, je vais tout expliquer en tout détail. Mais maintenant, tais-toi.
wait, you say one of his pictures was reproduced in l'illustration?
Do not be alarmed. It is just a watercolor, pastorelle of an ox pulling a cart, and it was painted under Notre Dame.
Well, what the devil does it matter what name it was painted under? This is dangerous.
Calm yourself, Mr. Friedman. No one would connect this masterpiece with a wishy-washy watercolor.
What do you mean wishy-washy? It won a prize, didn't it?
Look here, Lauderdale. That painting is my property. You have been well paid for it.
Well paid. 200 francs in a box of cardboard plums.
And an afternoon at the comic opera.
But it was only the Tilda Kaufman.
Be that as it may, if you do not go to your room immediately and wait for me to come to you, I will pack you off to your mother in Chester, and you know how you would hate that.
Papa,
Go, Lauderdale.
but the painting isn't finished. Won't you fix it? Right breasts all wrong.
Both breasts are all wrong. Now go.
I never picture for you again. Never as long as I live.
Don't be too sure of that.
Don't touch me. I hate you. You have no soul. Ah!
Poor little child.
Oh dear, this is really too much.
Do you mean that child painted that picture unaided?
No, sir. Under my supervision. His color scheme needs to be matured. His draftsmanship needs a little to be desired, but he's a diligent boy and works hard. And when he grows up and matures, he should go far.
No farther than Wormwood Scrubs.
The other canvases, of course, are more abstract.
Other canvases?
Yes, 35 all told. Mr. Sordin has signed them all.
Oh, this is grotesque.
He calls it his neo-infantilism. Oh, Mr. Sordin dearly loved a good joke.
Oh, where are these other canvases?
In a warehouse in Passy.
They must be destroyed immediately.
That would be a futile attempt at vandalism. If judiciously placed on the market over the next several years, they should fetch upward to $100,000. I have already insured them for $80,000.
You've insured them?
They are my property, naturally enough, since my son painted them. Mr. Sordin saw the justice in that, and gave them to me to dispose of as I saw fit. He also felt that perhaps you and I could come to some kind of an arrangement.
Well, I'll see you damned first. I'll expose the whole abominable swindle.
Wouldn't that be a little inconsistent, Mr. Friedman, considering that your If you expose the whole abominable swindle, you will expose yourself to the ridicule of the world.
On behalf of my mother, my entire family, I'd like to say I entirely agree with Mr. Friedland. The scandal must be exposed, and we must face the consequences. Wouldn't you agree, Mother?
Well, I suppose so, but,
But what?
well, I was just thinking of that dear little boy. All his hard work. Oh, he'd be dreadfully disappointed.
Not only would he be disappointed, the whole world of modern painting would be humiliated and impoverished. The bottom would fall out of the market. Thousands of young artists would starve. The casualties in Hollywood alone would be astronomical. Great masters of the world would be flung into disrepute if news leaked out that the great Sorodin's paintings were done by a Russian tart, an ex-Jackson girl, an 11th hour immersionist, and a boy of 14. The rot would spread like wildfire. Reputations would wither overnight. No one would be spared, not even Grandma Moses.
Oh, I see no reason to drag in the Old Testament.